Now, there's a couple things that you may be asked to do with this, okay? And that's make a prediction. There's two types of predictions that you can make, and I think I talked about this already, but I'm not 100% sure. The first is you can extrapolate from the data. Okay, what extrapolate means is, again, the prefix extra means beyond. And extrapolate means you're going to make a prediction about a value that falls outside the domain of the original test points. So if I wanted to make a prediction where it is, what is value of y when x is, and I have to pick a value that falls outside of these x values. So either something greater than 5 or less than 1. So if I say when x is 7, okay, if I want to evaluate what is the value of y when x is 7, that would be considered an extrapolation. I'm extrapolating from the data. And so what I can do here, if I am going to evaluate that, I can go to my home screen, and I can use the fact that I've stored this equation right here in the y2 value. So I'm going to take y2 of 7, and I'm going to evaluate that function. So if I take y2 of 7 and I hit enter, it gives me my answer, okay, based on this data here. Oops, come up here. This should be a negative 3.1x. Okay, so if I evaluate this, I get my answer down here to be negative 0.6. So that is the estimated value when x is 7. And what about if I evaluate when x is 0? Would this be extrapolation? Does 0 fall beyond the domain of these given data sets? Yeah, right? 0 is to the left of this. So it either has to be greater than the last or the highest value of x or less than the lowest value. So what would our value be when x is 0? You don't need a calculator for it. 21.1, right? Okay, now what if I asked if you could find y when x is 2.5. Okay, now that data, or the point that we're making a prediction on, is contained within the domain of the data set. This is called interpolation. Okay, inter is a prefix, means within. So it's either extra beyond or inter within, as far as the extrapolation or interpolation. Okay, so if we wanted to evaluate it, we're still evaluating the same way. We're still just going to evaluate our function y1 of 2 or y2 of 2.5, hit enter, and I get my answer to be 13.35 when I interpolate that from the data. Okay? So you are going to need to know the difference between those words, what extrapolation and interpolation mean, and be able to make predictions based on that.